Hello again, folks. How are we doing? This is Scott. That is Bo. That is Cricket sitting right next to Bo. Today is the 26th day still of August 2022. It is later in the day. I have gone to the doctor. It is about 3:30 in the afternoon, according to my little numbers down there at the bottom of the screen. How are you doing? Today we're going to talk about this again. But prior to that, just as a brief note from today's video, this morning's video, talking about Mayor Bowser, which is an unfortunate name, obviously, in D.C., trying to force or frighten families into giving those fucking jabs to their children. School season starts up, school year starts up Monday, and she says they have 20 days to get them fully jabbed, or they will be kicked out of school and not allowed any kind of distance learning. Here's the deal with that. I think she knows that there will be an injunction filed, and she will be stopped from doing that. She has to know. It's obvious. What she is doing is just fucking immoral. I mean, I was talking. I did the video this morning. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's just fucking immoral. A lot of the shit these people are doing are immoral. But this just gives you a little fucking glimpse again into the kind of human beings that are at the heart of all of this. All of these lockdowns that they knew were just going to, and the social distancing, and we got to wear a mask, and all of these things were done to protect the virus from our immune system, so that it could be used when they would get the fucking vaccine, the faux vaxxers going, and they could use it to bring about the Rona, the COVID-19, the Great Reset. They told you that themselves in April of 2020. When Biden back about this time last year said that he was going to impose this fucking mandate, make everybody get the fucking vaccines, and he knew he couldn't do it. I knew he couldn't do it. Many people knew he couldn't do it. The courts knew he couldn't do it. He was going to fail at that. He knew he couldn't do it. But what he wanted to do was frighten people into getting those jabs until the court said, okay, you can't do that shit. So get as many as I can by scaring them. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as I told you then, I'll tell you now, dealing with Mayor Bowser, that's called terrorism. The threat of harm or the action of harm and keeping your kid out of school and denying your child an education is harm. So the threat of harm or actual harm conducted against a society or a community or your city or your constituents in order to bring about a social, political, or economic change is called terrorism. That's what she's doing. She is committing terror, an act of terrorism against her own fucking constituents in D.C. And I really hope she's fired for it. Maybe she's trying to get fired because she's been complaining and trying to get the Pentagon to bring in the fucking military to deal with migrants that are being bussed up from fucking Texas. And if you guys think for 1 minute that what they're doing in Texas and other states down there by busting them places to teach them a lesson, what happened was this. I know I'm getting a little off, but just hear me out here and think about this for a second. What happened was this. They started to do all these investigations, Fox and a couple other people, and some independent journalists were going down, actually filming the nighttime loading of buses of all these immigrants. Now, I've told you from day one, I mean years and years ago, that part of the neoliberal economic ideology, one of the main pillars, is what's called flexible workforces. They need to be able to bring them in as if there were no borders, usually from countries where they've been neoliberalized and people are working for peanuts So then you have you have too many workers and people who want a better life. So they'll naturally move. They'll migrate. This is the weaponization of migration. They will migrate. They'll come into here. You'll open the borders. And when they come into here, you've got to move them from one place where they came in because there's already too many there to places where big business needs cheaper labor. That's what the governor of Texas is doing. He's not, I got you. You're going to bring these in. I'll just bus them to here. I'll just bus them to New York. I'll just bus them to California. I'll just bus them there. He's not teaching them a lesson. He's not fighting the power. He's just doing openly now what was being done in the dead of night under the cover of darkness. They sat around and they schemed up a way to do it where people would know what was happening and they would actually cheer it on. Okay? So that's not a hero move being done by the fucking governor of Texas. He's doing exactly what they want him to do. And remarkably, many of the people who were opposed to it back when it was happening under the cover of darkness are now cheering it because it's come out to light. That's just the power of what they can do with PR, with propaganda. Anyway, that's what I think she's doing. I think she might be looking for a way out. We're back to Mayor Bowser. I hope so. She's trying to frighten parents into getting their kids the shots, knowing full well there'll be an injunction which will stop her from kicking their kids out on the fucking streets with nowhere to go during the fucking day and stop them from getting their education. That said, let's talk about those. This is a big one, kind of. Back on the 11th day of this month, I did a video where I said the FBI gets Epstein's lawyer to sign search warrant to steal Trump lawsuit evidence. I made the connection between that Trump lawsuit where he was suing the DNC, Hillary Clinton, the FBI, James Comey, that couple, namely that couple. You know what couple I'm talking about. I did a whole video on them too a while ago when it first came out. He was suing all of them from what happened in 2016. Them spying on him and framing him for being connected with the Russians and pretending like the Russians influenced our election in 2016 because Hillary Clinton lost. That's the lawsuit he had filed. That lawsuit is still working its way through court. That article from the Insider, is that Business Insider? Or just the Insider? Just the Insider. There'll be links to all these down below. Hillary Clinton uses Trump's tweets against him in RICO lawsuit. So the lawsuit is still going on, and as I said, Trump sued Clinton, his political opponent in the year in question, 2016, and several defendants, including the Democratic Party, Department of Justice, FBI, accusing them of carrying out a plot to link his 2016 presidential campaign to Russia. Now, you need to remember something, because we're going to talk, and now I said, in that video, that's why they did it. They weren't after classified documents and national secrets. They were after whatever he had for that lawsuit. They wanted it. They wanted to keep him from having it. And in some cases, some of that information, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that he had was stuff that was classified because they were part of investigations that were taking place after when he was president, but also while Obama was president and when they were using the Five Eyes program to get other countries to help spy on us. That's what Trump has. That's what Trump's lawsuit is based on. They stole that. So he couldn't have a lawsuit. He couldn't file his lawsuit. To protect the Department of Justice, the FBI, the Five Eyes program, HGHQ, what is it? The one fucking in Britain, HCHQ, whatever the fucking one is in Britain, that was spying on the Trump campaign, and the one in Australia. That's what they're after. That's entirely what they're after. And I have found evidence in the fucking affidavit. Now, it's circumstantial, but I found evidence in the affidavit that seems to suggest that my original article, original video, was absolutely correct. If you look at the mainstream media, they're talking about complete fucking bullshit. Here's a video from MSNBC today. Mar-a-Lago affidavit reveals who could be endangered by classified documents. I watched this whole 4-minute piece of shit video. And does it reveal a single individual? No. All it does is go over and over the fact that, oh my God, it had this classification stamp and it had that classification stamp. He also mentions this guy. I'll post a link to it. I'm not going to play it. I don't give him an excuse to fucking shut this down, but I'll post a link to it. This guy right here talks about the fact that some of this evidence involves intelligence people from GCHQ, just like I told you, in other countries, he says. And he mentions United Kingdom and Australia. So this is, I mean, they're talking to informants and agents, and some of this stuff is it relates to informants and agents talking about what? I'll tell you exactly what it was. It's the informants and agents talking about finding ways to frame Donald Trump in his campaign for working with the evil Ruskies back in 2000, late 2000. They were involved in it late 2015, but certainly all through 2016 leading up to the election. And then afterwards. All being done by the Obama administration on behalf of Hillary Clinton. And who else was involved in that? Why are they so desperate? Why did the FBI? Listen, the FBI are the ones who ran down there and did it. And the FBI are named in the fucking lawsuit. God damn. This is basically a RICO Act lawsuit because they are all working together in collusion, basically making it organized crime. This is what I see. The FBI is named as a fucking defendant in this lawsuit, and they broke into this guy's house. Why? Because this guy signed a fucking affidavit allowing them to do so. Who is he? This guy is fucking obviously Judge Reinhardt. Yes, this image is photoshopped. However, this image of him, or this image is relatively accurate. She wasn't massaging his feet. That's actually the feet of fucking Epstein. However, this guy did help Epstein get off from his charges down here in Florida, gave him that nice little cushy, weird-ass fucking sentencing, quote-unquote. And then he left the prosecutor's office and set up his own business where he could be a lawyer for Jeffrey Epstein. So yeah, that's accurate. And he's the guy who signed the goddamn FBI affidavit. Now, here's the FBI affidavit. Who released it? Did the same judge who fucking... A federal judge has ordered its unsealing. I don't think that's him. It might be. I don't know if it's the same, if it's Reinhardt who released it. This is remarkable for a number of reasons. How nobody has mentioned the fact that fucking the FBI has been named as a defendant in a lawsuit in a case that is still underway, and they are the ones who went in there and took his fucking documents. Is beyond me. Absolutely beyond. I don't know who else is talking about this. But let me show you this. Now you might say it's a stretch. Maybe it is. Let's first of all, I want to show you, this is the actual affidavit. It is 38 pages, and I have gone through all of them. Now, there's a lot of legal jargon in here, mumbo jumbo, and this, that, and the other thing. But you know what it consists of mostly? Black ink. Now, you think I'm kidding? I got to slowly go through because it's going to fucking phase in, unfortunately. Yeah, all of this stuff is okay, well and good. We'll get back to some of that in a second. I don't know exactly where it is that I'm looking at. There's a definitions section that I'm going to show you that I think is pertinent. But here's some of the more redactions, the black ink. Here's some more. Here are some more. There's some. There's some more. And similarly, there's some more. Here's some more. Here's some more. Do you understand what I'm talking about now? This is what they release. This is your definition of fucking... Well, there's nothing possibly in that has to be redacted for national security reasons. The reason you redact that is because the FBI, who busted in there, is named in a lawsuit brought by Trump over what happened in 2016. And so, of course, you have to fucking redact a bunch of this shit, because in this, it would be telling you what they would be looking for. But they fucked up. Here's some more. You thought I was kidding? Here's more. There you go. There's some. Oh, so this going to stop? No, it's not going to fucking stop. That's what they released. They said, oh, okay, you can release that. Oh, go ahead and redact this too. That's what they released. And that's what these people are all up in arms about. Oh my God, it's proof. Proof of fucking what? They get free black ink for the fucking printers? Conclusion. Here's a conclusion. After all that, there's your conclusion. There's your conclusions. And they had to black out the name of the fucking agent. But there is Bruce Reinhardt. That dude. Yes, I know it's photoshopped, but you get the point. Now, here's what I want to show you that I thought was interesting. You go up in here and you look at the agencies that are involved, and you realize, yes, they're talking about Five Eyes, and they mention the Five Eyes program, and then there's more fucking redacted shit. You find the section early in this thing for the definitions. And I found one that stood out like a fucking sore thumb. And if you remember what happened and what was exposed and how Barack Obama made it easier for them to get information and spy on the Trump campaign and in 2000 and the Trump team in 2015 and 2016, you'll remember a certain word. It's an acronym, I believe, if that's the right word. And I'm trying to find that. Can I highlight any of this? No, I cannot. It highlights way up there when I do this. It's number 14 on page 5. It reads, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, is a dissemination control designed to protect intelligence information derived from the collection of information authorized under the Foreign Intelligence Service Act by Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, or FISC. FISA. Remember what happened? There were rules back then that stipulated that, yeah, you could collect information, but you couldn't unmask who the individual was that produced the information, right? And that's how our rights were protected, and you had to go to a FISA court. But remember what Barack Obama did. Barack Obama signed a fucking executive order which allowed anybody in these fucking agencies to automatically disclose the names of the people involved attached to the data that they had, that they had collected through spying. Barack Obama made it easier for the FBI and the fucking CIA and whoever else was involved in helping, and GCHQ, for example, so they could spy on fucking Donald Trump faster without having to go to a FISA court to prove with evidence that fucking Donald Trump had done jack shit with the fucking Russians. Because before Obama did that, that's what would have had to have happened. And they can't go back with more PP dossiers because, first of all, the first one got expensive. And second of all, it takes too much time to make up fucking bullshit stories like that. So he just wrote a fucking executive order, freed up the fucking FBI and the other intelligence agencies to spy on the political opposition of a favored fucking candidate in the United States of America. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is what his fucking lawsuit deals with. That is why the FBI is named in that lawsuit. That is why the FBI was given the ability with that bullshit fucking affidavit to bust into his home and steal the evidence that they had collected over the years, proving what they fucking did. And that is what this is all about. That is what this is all about, boys and girls. I told you that back on the 11th. It's about this fucking lawsuit. And the links they will go to protect not only Hillary Clinton, but also the institutions that make up this fine democracy we live in. They can't let you know, they can't let anyone expose the fact of just how fucking criminal they were. And still are. And still are. Because the agency that fucking did this shit back in 2016 are the ones given the bullshit affidavit signed by the bullshit corrupt fucking judge to go into his home and steal the fucking evidence. Well, people just have to trust the institutions. Why? Trust them to do what? That's the question. I trust them. I trust them to be about as criminal as they were when they were run by fucking J. Edgar Hoover. I trust them to be about as criminal as they were when they created COINTELPRO and did everything they could to break apart and kill Black Panthers. I trust them about as much as I trust them to do shit like, well, I don't know, kill Martin Luther King. Yeah, I trust him. God damn. I thought I would share that with you. I will post links to all of this down below, as usual. I'm not going to post... Oh, I'll post a link to that. You can watch it. That's just so fucking stupid. But I'll post links to this where you can actually read the affidavit yourself. What is there. And of course, you'll find that on my video, on my channel. I'm going to post a link to that. But I will post a link to this. His lawsuit. There's a number of people named in this. And there are a number of agencies named in this. And it could get really ugly. And the fact that he had those documents, official documents, he had the stuff, he had the original shit back in 2015. He had access to it. And he had his people drag it out and pull it out, copy it, give it to him. And they said, we're not going to let you do that. We're going to drum up some bullshit fucking reason. We're going to kick in your fucking door. And we're going to take that shit. That's where we live today. And again, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trumpite. Not big on any of these motherfuckers anymore. But that, what I'm talking about now, that's some fucking tin pot dictatorship bullshit. And that's where we are today, folks. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.